solving simple two-step equations.
Welcome to Mark's Math Methods.
Look at 2x plus 3. What's being done to the x? Well, let's think of it this way. If I were to put a 5 in place of the x, how would you use your order of operations to evaluate it? What would you do first, second, etc.? So I'm going to put a 5 there. Now you can always check the solving one-step equations presentation before continuing if you don't remember how to find the present when I talked about wrapping a present, in which case the 5 would be that. So what would we do first? We would multiply by 2. And then the next thing we would do is add 3, which of course would give us 13. Well, if we look at this and work the problem backwards, now we'll solve it. Since the second thing we did was add 3, we have to undo what's being done using the opposite operation in the reverse order. So the opposite of adding 3 is subtract 3. So we subtract 3 from both sides. And then the opposite of multiply by 2 is divide by 2. And you end up with x equals 5. All right, so let's look at some examples here. First thing we have to do is move the 7 away from the x term. They call this isolating the variable term. So we have to undo the addition of 7. So we're going to subtract 7 from both sides. And then when we add vertical, doing our vertical arithmetic, the 2x comes straight down. Positive 7 minus 7 is 0. And then 15 minus 7 is 8. Notice that the positive 7, we turned it into a 0. We moved it. It's no longer on the side. We moved it to the other side. And of course, we don't see that, so we have 2x equals 8. Then we need to change the coefficient of the x term from a 2 into a 1. Well, since the x is being multiplied by 2, we have to undo that multiplication. So we divide both sides by 2. And now we do the arithmetic shown. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we have 1x, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. But then, of course, coefficients of 1 aren't normally shown. Negative 3x minus 5 equals negative 12. So we need to move the 5 away from the x term. The 5 is being subtracted because it's a negative 5. The opposite of undoing that, it would be adding 5 to both sides. Do our vertical arithmetic. The negative 3x comes straight down. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0. We've moved it away from there. And negative 12 plus 5 is negative 7. Now we need to change the coefficient from a negative 3 into a 1. So we have to undo that multiplication by negative 3. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 3. Do the arithmetic shown. And we end up with 1x equals 7/3. But then, of course, coefficients of 1 aren't normally written. So x equals 7/3. Two x over 5 minus 3 equals 7. So we need to move the 3 away from the x term. So we have to undo that subtraction of 3. We do that by adding 3 to both sides. Do the vertical arithmetic. So the 2x over 5 comes straight down. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. And 7 plus 3 is 10. Then, of course, the 0 is not normally shown. I have to change the coefficient of the x term to a 1. It's 2/5. So we have to undo that multiplication. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, 5/2. So we multiply both sides by 5 halves. And then we get to do the arithmetic shown. The 5's cancel, the 2's cancel. So we have 1x equals 50 over 2, which reduces to 25. And we don't normally show the coefficient of 1. So x equals 25.
I hope the presentation was helpful. Thumbs up, subscribe, comment. And if you have any problem types you'd like me to demonstrate, there's my address.